Okay. So the camera just started without me telling it to start. I haven't figured out why I keep doing this, but I'm gonna just go ahead and go on with today's video. So here's how I usually open up with a question. What is it like living after the war? What is that like? Most of us don't know that. And I'm going to share with you from my personal experience what my life has been like living after being in the Iraq War. So if you've been watching the channel, I'm Jason. You've been seeing me go around Johannesburg, also showing you Gaborone, Botswana, and I'm going to be showing you a lot more of the continent of Africa as I continue my travels in July. And most importantly, I've been talking to you about success, what it is, and how to get it in the three areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. And I'm gonna just be honest with you, there's nothing there's nothing as good as living a happy life, guys. Like, I'm telling you this from firsthand knowledge. And because the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea, coming home from war, coming home from your military service, and having just a good, happy life, there's not many things more worthy than that. I can tell you from firsthand experience. And so, if you've been watching in South Africa or in Botswana, you may not know that I am a wartime military veteran. I was injured in my military service. I'm actually disabled because of my military service. And I used to not even be able to walk well because of my disabilities. And on top of that, I was having a lot of mental health issues. You may have heard of something called PTSD, or post traumatic stress disorder. However, what that is severe anxiety, severe depression, and it's crippled with really, really bad images of being back in war. And technically, I do not have PTSD. If you in the military, if you're a veteran, you understand why I'm saying it this way. I technically do not have PTSD. However, I am clinically diagnosed with severe anxiety, severe depression, which is, when I had my suicidal tendencies and issues from that. So if you are a person, if you're in the psychological field, you'd be like, yeah, you have PTSD, Jason. I know, guys. However, I have to legally say how it is in my medical records because I don't want people thinking I'm lying about anything that I've been through. And so you may not heard many veterans talk about this. Like, a lot of people see military veterans, they're leaving the United States, they're going abroad, living better lives and happier lives. But what does it look like? Like, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about because for the last 2 days, I've kept myself pretty much locked up in my flat. I've been chilling. I'm on the 17th floor. Like, I've felt, and I can tell when I'm starting to have relapses, let's say it like that. And what I mean by relapses is, yes, I'm living a happy life, guys. However, dealing with that trauma, those issues, like, it's not all the way gone. Like, so many of us think the road to being better is perfection, not experiencing anymore. And in that reality, the road is understanding, becoming aware of when you're starting to experience it, and developing tools around it to still be able to function without it being a hindrance to yourself or people around you. And this isn't something I learned overnight. This isn't even something I learned from the military or the Veterans Affairs Hospital. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I learned this from my late wife, Cece. She was a clinical social worker. She actually had a doctorate in social work, and she wrote her whole dissertation on acceptance commitment therapy modality. And she used that modality on me. Like, I don't know if it was something she was doing intentional or if it was just the way our minds work together. Whenever she was doing something, I just like, hey, I try it out. That tested on me. Like, let's see if it worked. It can only get better from here. And because of that attitude, it got better, guys. It got a lot better. Now, because it's gotten better, I'm not in my house for months at a time. I'm not as angry of a person as I used to be. I'm definitely not nowhere near as violent as I used to be. I actually took an oath where I have no desire to ever be violent again. And because of that, it actually hinders some of my working out. Like, I like to do boxing, things like that, jujitsu, but I'm afraid that I'll get that combative spirit again. And, like, I don't want to be in that zone ever again anymore. And so until I'm in a place where I know, like, okay, I can do this just for exercise, just for personal and professional development, I put those things on the back burner, even though it's things that I really want to do right now. And so what I'm saying about that is, like, and the reason why I'm saying is, like, I still have triggers on a daily basis, believe it or not. Most people don't know this, But like I talked about it briefly while I was in Botswana, I was supposed to leave on Monday, this last Monday. I was going to leave and come back to South Africa. However, it started thundering and lightning really, really bad, man. And when it's really that bad, like it does take me back to moments of being in Iraq, hearing incoming, seeing explosions going off. Like those things are triggering. And so when I have those triggering moments, I become aware of it. And the main thing I do first is I just start going into a breathing routine to get myself calmed down in a way. But on top of that, I know that what I need to do is isolate myself for a few days. And so what I do is I take time away from social media. Believe it or not, even though I still do a video every day on here, and I was doing videos in the midst of that relapse, what you may have not saw was I wasn't commenting, I wasn't responding to people. After I would do the video, I would just turn my phone off. I don't respond to people even on messages. I don't answer calls at all. So like most people know by now, Jason don't answer calls. And so because I put myself into isolation intentionally, I knew once I got back to South Africa, what I needed to do was hyper nourish on fruits and vegetables. And so that's why you seeing me doing these videos where I'm showing you some of the juicing I'm doing. Because what happens when you're going through those relapses or you having a triggering moment, what it's creating in your brain is oxidative stress. And the best way to combat oxidative stress is actually to just eat or drink antioxidant rich foods. So that's why I've been doing all of these fruit juices. And let me show you even today, just so you know, like I have this one in the fridge getting cold. And so just right here, this is all of the fruits that I had left over and veggies. So this is cucumber, it has a habanero pepper. I have clementines in there. What else did I put in? I put a pear in there, and I put one cucumber in there. And I'm going to drink, and carrots too. And so I'm going to drink this today. And you may be like, well, Jason, what's the habanero for? Believe it or not, when you are in a depressed mood, if you take something that's hot, it takes you out of that depressed mood because of the fire in the peppers. I can't remember the actual chemical term of it, but like that lysogen, I can't remember it. But that chemical in there, it gets your body to move automatically. Your blood start pumping, even if you're sitting still. So you won't stay still very long because as you keep drinking it and your blood is starting to warm up, your heart is beating a lot faster because it's like it has that heat in there. So it's like telling the furnace, it's like putting wood on the furnace. So it's making more and more fire. It's going to start you moving. And so this is just something that I know from my studies and when I was in Panama and when I was practicing on myself. So this is what I do. Like, this is one of the reasons why my eating lifestyle is very strict. This is why, like I tell people, I never go back to eating the way I used to. If eating that way was not conducive of me being a happy, healthy person. So because of that, who wants to be a wealthy person that's angry and sick? Like, you know what I mean? So I can't just be focusing on building wealth if I'm not focusing on my happiness and my health also. And so that's one of the ways that I actually live my life outside of being in the war and being in the military now. Like I eat for emotional health, believe it or not. And if you're a veteran and if you're struggling with this, man, try it out. Like check out my TikTok, Jason Chaney, and look at some of the fruit juices that I put on there. Like yesterday, I shared the actual recipe that I use while I was drinking beet juice and other veggies with it. And I was drinking this for like 2 to 3 months. And when I tell you it improved my blood circulation, how good my heart could beat in less than 3 months, man, it changed my life. Like you never know what can be right in front of you that can be changing your life until you actually try it. And if you do try it, guys, like commit to it for at least 3 months. Now I know 90 days sound like a long time, but 3 months, man, commit to it. Remember, if you're a veteran, you committed to your life to the military and you gave them years and years of service. Like they took some of the best years of your life. Now it's time to get it back, man, and just commit to yourself. So I hope you like this type of content. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can see videos like this every day. Share this with someone who may be looking forward to this type of information and just don't know where to find it. And most importantly than that, guys, just remember, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.